Hello, this is To Be Continued here with a interesting new video. Going to do a alternate election scenario. So this is what if Gore won 2000? So just to cut straight to the point, instead of Bush winning Florida, it's Al Gore. So he wins the election. So a few changes will happen. He pursues his climate policies, and then, well, for the war in Iraq, that's a kind of a tricky question because how would Gore, a liberal, more liberal-leaning Democrat, would respond to it. And I think it would just be more on the lines of a more cautious approach, but the war will still happen. So anyway, we go on to 2004, and I originally was going to put McCain, but McCain and Lieberman were friends in real life, so I do think most of Rust Belt will go to Gore. Ohio will go to Keyes now. Two things. Depends on Florida or Pennsylvania. And it's like, how much does Cole County, react to Gore's presidency? I do think Gore will still run up in the fill eastern side, and will still narrowly win Florida. But then we get to the second term, and also the 2008 recession. That still happens, and this would be more interesting because now it's all on the Democrat side, and I think Gore will somewhat face a similar approval trajectory as Bush did. First term being popular after the events of 9/11, but in second term kind of taking a nosedive. The American people kind of becoming more agitated. They start to think, well, the Democrats got us in this mess. We can get us out. 2008, I'm deciding to put in Ron Paul and slash Slam Brownback as the VP. I think Ron Paul's libertarian ideology will be able to at least lift him up over the edge in a primary this time. I don't think McCain will run. And I guess you could substitute Ron Paul for Mike Huckabee, but I think in a scenario with the recession, I think Ron Paul will be a more alternative because since the recession happened underneath the Democrat presidency in this timeline, the Republicans will look for someone who would be able to respond to that more effectively. Democrat, obviously I think Lieberman's going to run, being, the VP in this timeline. And I chose, John Edwards as a more, kind of like a more moderate pick to attempt to balance out that ticket. So anyways, I think, let's see. I still think most of the Rust Belt will go towards Edwards, but a few things. New Hampshire will flip back to Republicans. Most of the Southwest will. Even this, especially Indiana. This time I do think Maine at large. And then Florida will nearly flip. I'm going to say Nevada still. Nevada goes back to Democrats. And Pennsylvania. I think this is. Because one, New Hampshire does have an anti-incumbency bias, and also, what Ron Paul's ideology could help a lot in there. I think this is also spills over in Maine. So Ron Paul wins the presidency. So in 2012, we got this map again. I believe since Democrats had kind of lost with a, they lost with a more liberal candidate, they decided to go moderate. So they chose Dennis Kunich, and then Chris Dodd. Basically, very generic Democrats. But I think they will still win these states. And obviously, these states being run. I think Iowa will flip back. Will flip to Ron Paul. So Florida. So basically, yep, so there's all the scenarios. So map 1, obviously, actually, no, New Mexico, I'll make that change. It will stay for Gore since it went to Gore here. And also, Iowa, don't think he's able to win that much. Then this, I'm making some modifications. I do think Iowa can flip in this scenario. I think it was enough impact by the 2008 recession to make that flip. So yeah, here's the scenario. Hope you guys enjoyed it.